Yes. It's tough, you know. I don't know what to tell a woman who has voice. It's not a joke. Because a woman, a female, cannot really raise a man. You know, it's not just raising the voice, it's making them a man, growing them up. You never want them to think you are overprotecting. You know, you want to make them feel like you have some trust in them. Their spirits, we live in a body, you know, we have a soul. The reality is that when we receive stuff, you know, we are able to catch things as a man. So is what you consume on the inside, you know, what you put in your mind is what you're going to bring out there. With me, it's been very interesting. Talking to them, encouraging them. For me, the first thing is you know, loving what you do. You know, because I have a lot of strengths. I love it. You know, so but the experience has been great. I mean, I've seen results. I've seen good things happen. We go on retreats every year, and we have results. We have young people coming to Christ for the first time. We have people growing. You know, it's a good thing when you see their life change over time. So it's been pretty encouraging. I mean, you have some setbacks and discouragements sometimes, you know, but ultimately, you know, it's just a blessing to see parents give you a phone call and be like, wow, what happened to my child? You know, it looks like my child is changing. You know, like even this past retreat, I remember one of the parents called me after the retreat and I was like, my son is listening to a gospel music for the first time.
Oh, wow.
You know, what's going on with that? So, you know, it's you know, been very, you know, encouraging.
There is something about, I would say, youth in general. It's like they look for people to share things with. They can't tell their parents. It's kind of so common with the youth nowadays. And how are you able to convince them to talk to you?
First of all, especially in this Western world, I think you have to be very nice. You start with being, you know, you have to have a good relationship. You know, start with good relationships, every one of them. You know, so with my personality, I'm naturally someone who, you know, just joke around a lot. So that helps, I guess. So, you know, well, the first thing is try to know them. You know, try to know them for who they are. Everybody's different. Everybody's not the same.
Yes.
You can't treat all the youths, you know, boys, girls, you know, from different backgrounds the same way. So you have to actually.
And this is why you can't treat your children the same way too.
Exactly. Okay. You can't. You know, you just have to know each one for each one. You know, like you have to know them for who they are, and you know, you don't bend your rules, but you just have to, you know, by the Spirit of God, you know, apply, you know, the Word of God, you know, to individuals, you know, in different ways. So, so definitely with the young people, I try to get to them, know each one, you know, get close to them, because when you get close to them, which I feel like is one of the things that helps them to open up. I mean, I have a lot of them tell me things that they won't even tell their parents, you know, so which is helpful, you know, and actually that's my goal, you know, or my focus. I try to make sure that they don't hide whatever is going on with them. So, because I know when they feel comfortable with you, they will speak up. They will speak their mind, and that way I'm able to help them, pray with them, show them a Bible verse, connect them with someone who can help them, you know. But when they are, you know, not saying anything, you know, obviously the oven of devil is darkness. So your sin or whatever you're doing that is not good, you know, continues to, you know, to grow when you hide it. But when you open up, when you shine light on whatever is going on in your life, you know, darkness have to disappear. You know, the hands of darkness have to go away. You know, so I try to have them open up. You know, try to get close to them, get to know them. You know, try to let them understand that I'm here for you. You know, I'm not focusing on what you have to give. You know, I'm focusing on, you know, showing them the love of Christ. And I'm telling you, it's been pretty effective. Yes, it's been very effective in getting them to speak up. I mean, I get them to speak up all the time.
Do you feel like your parents don't have time for you? That's why you can kind of lean to another person, to talk to another person. Why is there this kind of distance between you and your parents? You know, as a youth, or do you feel it's so awkward telling my mom, oh, you know, Mom, I just did this?
Yeah, I feel like when you're going on this walk with God, like when you're going through like, when you're having issues with sex, or you're having issues with your friends, or like personal issues within yourself, like it's not easy to go and tell your mom like, Mom, I just did this, or Mom, I'm having issues with alcohol, or I'm having issues with marijuana, if you know what I'm trying to say, because the way your parents see you is different from the way you want them to see you. So I feel like you want to continue to keep that upbeat persona about yourself, because you feel like they're going through things on their own, if that makes any sense. And it's just like, I guess, just keeping that the way you want them to look at you. You don't want them to look at you as like my child has issues, or my child is going through this. So I think that's the issue.
This question really bothered me, and I feel like I'm scared of the next generation in the sense that I want to be close to my children. I have a friend who mom used to be like a youth teacher and everything, and you know, right there, she's Indian, and right there she would tell her mom, shut up. They're just so close. If she likes a guy today, her mom would know first. You know, they're very, very close in such a way. And I'm like, what is there that she's doing that, you know, the other parents are not doing, that is making them to, I want to know, like, what do you think you're doing that the parents are not doing?
I mean, the first thing, which is universal, is listen. Listen to people. I mean, I think not just for young people. Every human being likes to be listened to. You know, I mean, sometimes people you will see people crying just because no one is listening to them. Like, just let me tell you what is going on with me. You know. So, and sometimes if care is not taken, we get emotional. Maybe as parents, you know, the parent can get so emotional that they don't care. You know, calm down to understand their child, and you know, just want to be the parent, and which you have the right to be. You are the parent, but listening is so important. I think it's one of the most effective tool that you can use in that area. When a young person or anyone, from my experience, when they feel like you listen to them, they can feel you, and make sure that when you're listening, you're really listening. Let them know that I'm really here for you. You see, when they feel that, you see, we are spirits.
Yes.
We are spirits. When we can sense people, when someone is listening to you just to listen for, they don't care, you know. And when someone is listening because they care, because they really want to help you, you can also sense it. So they can sense it in you. You know, so sometimes, you know, I guess parents are too busy, or you know, people are too busy. You're not listening enough. When you calm down, you listen enough, and always learn how to come back. Come back to a conversation that you felt like, you know what, I'm not sure if I got your point the last time, because it helps. So I feel like I don't even know how much I can stress the listening. You have to listen. When you listen to them, they will speak up. You know, so I guess that one you're talking about, I've done a good job. It's done a good job listening to that child. And that girl feels so comfortable, because when you feel comfortable with anyone, I mean, I know in my life that there's certain people I couldn't tell some things to just because I didn't feel comfortable with them. And I guess almost everybody can connect to that. If you don't feel comfortable with people, you say, I can be a tough leader. Some of them knows me to be, you know, I'm very straightforward in things, and I can't bend certain things. But I believe most of them also trust me. They know that even when I'm being tough, it's real, it's true. It's not me trying to be selfish for my own gain. No, it's for you at the end of the day. And I've seen many who come back for that, you know, even at the moment they may be angry, you know, but they come back because they know I'm really interested in their life. So you got to show interest. Listen with interest, you know, very important.
What is this effect that friends have on your life? You know, as if you're like, let's say you're a parent, you're a youth parent, I would just say that, okay, I want you to have this friend and not this friend, because why would it be the reason for you to say, don't make that many friends, make this kind of friends and all that?
Yeah, I mean, we are all products of our environment. I think whether you like it or not, you know, you can try to deny it, but your environment will affect you. You know, so you will, the kind of people you surround yourself with will definitely affect you. You will reflect them no matter what. So it's very important that everyone surrounds themselves with the right people. And parents have the right, you know, to challenge their children to try to choose the right friends. When it comes to parenting, we are in the Western world. You know, one of the things that is going on in the Western world is that it's a fast-paced society. Everything is fast. too busy. I'm telling you, I'm happy that you're asking this question because it bothers me. In fact, I was having a meeting with some of the youths yesterday, the leaders, last night, and I was mentioning that starting January, I plan on involving parents in the youth department more. Get them involved in whatever we're doing with them. Because and why am I doing that finally? Bringing that up is because I found out that some of these parents have no time for their children, and then they're not helping. So even sometimes when you try to put all this good stuff in their children, their actions and their support is really minimal. It's too small. It's not there, and that's the problem. At the end of the day, I remember a parent called me some times ago, and he was like, I need to do this, and I flat out told him, I said, sir, the problem is these boys spend more time at home than with me. He spends more time at home. No matter, you see, the time we really spend together at the end of the day is on weekends. Monday to Friday, at least, this boy is with you. So some of these things you need to carry on. Whatever you're teaching them, you got to carry on. And as a parent, there's a reason God gave you the child or the children. You are responsible for them, and God is going to ask you because you're responsible for those children. And so parents today, everybody's seeking money too much, in my own opinion. And sometimes, I'm not saying those things. I mean, you got to take care of your family. I'm not talking about neglecting your responsibility, but sometimes these parents have no idea. Just like some parents have no idea how their children is doing in school, and it's about trying to, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like even Christian parents, and that bothers me even more. Christian parents not paying enough attention, not building a relationship with their children. You gotta build that relationship with your child, because like I was talking before about listening, is listen, because that listening will help you to build a solid relationship. And just because you're listening to your child does not mean you bend the rule. That's not what I'm saying. You don't bend the rule. I'm telling you, I have some of these youths that they know that, I tell them something really hard, I give them instructions, and it's such a tough one, but they know that this is it. It's true. They're not going to even question me on it, because they know that, they just know when I get serious. For example, they know when I'm joking, and you know when it's time to get serious. Because you don't have to, I'm not saying be so jovial and be so playful with them that you lose your position. You are the parent, and you have to make that clear sometimes, because they would like to cross that boundary sometimes. At the end of the day, you are not like a friend, but you still have to be their friend.
Yes.
So parents need to pay attention to their children. They got to build relationship. That's actually number one. Build relationship with them, and I remember listening to one of my mentors, Mike Murdoch. He said something about how you yourself, as a parent, you are a God to your child, which means that your children may never meet God. Your children probably will not even know God if you don't show God to them. They have their first experiences of God through you. So you represent God to them. You see. So sometimes even young people, some of them, before they even started a relationship with God, their mentality of God is already getting distorted, because their father, their mother are not godly at all. The way they are showing God is the wrong God. So parents, you are the God. When your children are growing, the first experiences of God they understand is you actually. You are their God until they now know, they grow up a little more. So some parents are not doing their job. Some parents are not doing their job at all. They are so, and I feel like again in the fast world that we live in, which is actually going across the world, people are too busy to spend time with their children at home. Imagine. I don't care how busy you are. You gotta have time to study Bible with your children. You gotta have family time. I remember when I first came to this country, my auntie / mother that I stayed with, she always mentioned one thing that I learned from her, that a family that prays together, stays together. I didn't understand that concept, but it makes sense. Families that prays together, study the Bible together, they will stay together. But one of the things I noticed in this country is that mother is gone, father is gone, everybody's gone. Nobody's home with the kids. I'm telling you, I see 13-year-olds today, 12-year-olds. Let me go there. But young people staying home by themselves. Children staying home by themselves. Not good. The Bible says, what does it profit a man who gains the whole world, loses his own soul? What does it profit you if you gain everything but your child is lost? At the end of the day, you spend the money to get the child out of jail after when the child is so messed up. So I think parenting for me requires parents paying attention. Parents paying attention. And a lot of things is going on today. Also, we have divorce rates going up. We have all these things going on. So of course, when parents are not together, too, it affects. Because now only one parent is home. So something you have to understand that too. With the parents, I feel for this, for some of our parents, because if the mother is the only one buying everything, catering for the house, it's tough.
Have you ever felt, one time in your life that your hope is in your friends? You hang out more with your friends, and you kind of you see yourself being with them more than your parents, and your parents are not even questioning it. They think that it's fine. She's with her friends and everything.
Yeah, actually, before I came to know God, my friends were my family, if that makes any sense. So in the sense that my mom, like Brooke said, my mom at the time didn't really have time to tell me oh, Ira, this friend that you're with, don't be with this friend, or this friend is not right for you. So for me, before I knew God, my friends were my family. So whatever they did, in a sense, was kind of okay with me, because you are the product of the 5 people that are closest to you. So if they were to steal something or lie, you know what I'm trying to say, you kind of feel it's okay if this is what they're doing, so this makes me feel this is what it's okay for me to do. But I think after I know that once you come to God, he begins to redirect or reprogram the things that you thought were right, and kind of program the things that are right through the Holy Spirit. But it takes time, if that makes any sense, because it's all psychological at the end of the day.
So when you were doing all those things and they didn't question you, you didn't feel anything? You didn't care about what your parents said, or you didn't even you weren't scared of them or whatever they would do to you? And is it because they didn't have time for you?
So no, personally for me, I have a relationship with my parents. I wouldn't say that there's something that I don't do that my parents don't know about, if that makes any sense. But when Brooke said your parents are semi-God to you at the same time, and if your parents at the same time are kind of busy and kind of don't have time to kind of tell you about God, or tell you Ira, don't forget to pray, or don't forget to read your Bible, or how's your spiritual life, or how's your friendship, you will get swayed. You kind of it becomes darkness in a way, you're clouded and you're confused because we're still growing. So and your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 24, so you're still learning, and we rub, we're spirits at the end of the day. You rub whatever you're around, right now I'm with you, there's an aura I'm giving you, there's an aura you're giving me, and we're gonna learn from that aura. So it's not that my parents were bad parents, it's not that they're bad parents, are bad parents, I should say, but it becomes a point where you need to know God for yourself at the same time. Your parents can only take you this far in life. You kind of have to pick up the baton and continue to run the race. So,
and there's something that I've heard, this quote that I've heard, and it says that, sometimes if God wants to take you to another place, He lets you be alone. You're actually
in wilderness.
Yes, it takes the people around you away from you, and it's just alone.